I want to give all thanks and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. I wanted to talk about the indoctrination of children via mothers of the children. And the reason I made this video, and I'm going to title this video, My Enemies Worship and Serve False Gods, is because personally I've experienced losing my children to the indoctrination of Christianity via the mothers. And I personally know from experience brothers that have lost contact or lost relationships with their children due to the mothers of their children indoctrinating the children with the image of the beast being white, the Edomite Jesus, Caesar Borgia. And I went on Google and typed in black women teach children about who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? So this is what it brought back, an AI overview. It says black women have historically and presently played a vital role in passing down the Christian faith to children. Played a vital role in passing down the Christian faith to children, serving as foundational leaders in homes, churches, and early community education movements. Now, me personally, I know women are the tools that are perfect, that can be perfectly used for the indoctrination process of children, because they are naturally attracted to falsehoods and lies, and they are easily deceived because they're the weaker vessel, being that they're the weaker vessel. And women look at their weakness as a strength because these falsehoods choose them over the men because of the children and how easily deceived the women are when it comes to serving and worshiping falsehoods. So what I thought about was just typing that, black women teaching children about the falsehood of Christianity and the image of the beast being Caesar Borgia, white Jesus. So, of course, AI overview goes into a historical information about pioneering education. Figures like Catherine Ferguson in the early 19th century laid the groundwork for early Sunday school education, caring for and teaching faith to marginalized and enslaved children in New York. So it goes into these so-called black women, which are Eve, that us Israelites refer to being deceived and indoctrinated by these falsehoods. All right. And first thing that I thought of was, let me go here. First thing that I thought of was, not First Timothy, but Exodus 20. Let me go there. Exodus 20. Exodus 20. We're gonna go to Exodus 20 and 3, I believe it is. It says, and Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord, your thy God, and have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods Salakia, before me, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And today you see the falsehoods in these religions having graven images in the form of a statue, or they have the image of the fish. I've seen that little image representing Christianity on the back of vehicles as a magnet, and then of course they make false images of their imagination, referring to the images of heaven. Okay, so it says in 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, your thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So, of course, um, Gentiles that are worshiping and serving the false gods of religions, especially Christianity, they hate the God of Israel. They hate the prophets of Israel, and they also hate the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the truth. So that's what that means when it says when it says them that hate me, because like I said, the men of this truth have lost their children, or have lost relationships with their children, because the men of the Lord do not celebrate paganism, and the women that have been indoctrinated with falsehoods, they speak against the men who do not celebrate paganism, and the children learn to hate their fathers because the fathers do not celebrate birthdays, which is pagan, and pagan holidays, um, and all forms of paganism. And of course, again, the children are learn to resent and hate the truth. So I know the men of the Lord are more focused on what their job is as a man of the Lord, as a prophet. So that brings me to Second Corinthians, and I believe it's 10. 2 Corinthians and verse 10. So it says, chapter 10 rather. It says, now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Hamashiach, who in presence am base among you, but being absent and bold towards you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay, strongholds. All right, the pulling down of strongholds. Okay, which are like falsehoods and witchcrafts, and all sorts of falsehoods. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, against the knowledge of Yahweh. See, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. Okay, and having a readiness to revenge all disobedience. See, to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Okay, so going to the GNT to translate that. Okay, just to get some translation, it says, I, Paul, make a personal appeal to you. I who am said to be meek and mild when I am with you, but harsh with you when I am away. By the gentleness and kindness of Hamashiach, I beg you not to force me to be harsh when I come, for I am sure I can deal harshly with those who say that we act from worldly motives. It is true that we live in the world, but we do not fight from worldly motives. The weapons we use in our fight are not the world's weapons, but Yahweh's powerful weapons, which we use to destroy strongholds. We destroy false arguments. Okay, we destroy false arguments. We pull down every proud obstacle that is raised against the knowledge of Yahweh. See, we pull down every proud obstacle that is raised against the knowledge of Yahweh. We take every thought captive and make it obey Hamashiach. See, we take every thought captive and make it obey Hamashiach. And after you have proved your complete loyalty, we will be ready to punish any act of disloyalty. So again, the job of the prophets and the purpose of the prophets is to destroy strongholds and destroy false arguments and pull down every proud obstacle. So I know that the men of the Lord have experienced having children with an unbeliever and a woman and have eventually lost contact with the child or the children due to the children being indoctrinated by the mothers. Okay, because the mothers are the ones that are pretty much um, teaching false doctrine to the children, and that's where we get these lies. See, if I scroll down here on YouTube, there's all sorts of women. There's all sorts of women teaching, okay, teaching children falsehoods and indoctrinating the children. See, we got that CC Winan, whoever she is. We got this Priscilla Shirer or Shirer, whatever her name is. They're raising children and indoctrinating children and teaching them about the image of the beast, and they're worshiping and serving false gods. Okay, and um, again, you know, someone is you could anybody teaching Christianity is not teaching the truth. Okay, and then what that leads me to is let me go here. Damn it, I keep go back. I was just there. Salakia. It says, I will therefore that men pray. This is 1 Timothy 2 and 8. The point is in 12. It says, I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, Salakia, which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Okay, good works. That's what these women are supposed to be doing, conducting themselves with good works, and the scripture lays out the the boundaries of women and what their good works is considered to be, what their assignment is spiritually alongside a man, and conducting themselves within a union with the Most High and keeping their portion of the law, statutes, and commandments as a woman. But these women rather not teach this. These women that are in religions indoctrinating children and and being offended by the truth, they don't teach the truth of the scriptures. They rather teach falsehoods. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if, all right, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Okay, and for the most part, I made this video because, again, I know for myself, I've experienced losing relationships with my children because of the falsehoods of Christianity and the indoctrination coming from their mothers, okay, and how I'm the bad guy and I'm hated because I don't celebrate paganisms and birthdays and holidays and stuff like that. So not only do these children and their mothers hate the Most High and hate the Messiah, the true Messiah, and the names of the Most High and the Messiah, but they also hate the men of the Lord, which are the fathers of these children, all right? And I just wanted to make this short video because I know I have brothers that have experienced this just as much as I did. And when I noticed that the mothers are just naturally attracted to lies, anything that promotes them, the woman, over the man, is what she wants to be a part of. It's funny how these women don't they don't agree with the men of the Lord, or they don't agree with the natural order where the man is over the woman and the head of the woman is the man. They don't believe in serving a man, all right, and referring to their husband as Lord. They're so offended by that, but they'll naturally align themselves with a falsehood that puts the woman over the man and allows her to have children out of wedlock. So again, you brothers stay strong out there. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely going to have the last laugh in the end, and continue to discern this world and to seek refuge within this truth, and know that you brothers are not alone. You know what I'm saying? You brothers keep your head up, and you know that you're not the only one that recognizes the threat of falsehoods and the women that are indoctrinating the children, and how, you know, when we don't know when we don't know where our children are, they're more than likely they're somewhere with these falsehoods and within these uh, synagogues of Satan, doing some type of activities, because these religions like to do activities with the mothers and the children and further indoctrinate the mothers and the children and distract them with all of these field trips to so that they won't even consider where their biological fathers are. So just you brothers hang in there. Hopefully somebody's been edified. You know what I'm saying? I want to give all praise and thanks to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits, and wish all of my subscribers are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines, here in America and abroad. Shalom.